Let's see. Let's do 64 high. I want it to be pretty low res, but not like a NES sprite or anything. And then let's go ahead and we'll start with 32 by 64 and use that as our starting point. Let's see. If I have to go up from there, I will. I'm also trying out a new, well, I mean, it's all new. Everything is new to me. I feel like my playlist has gone completely. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I wish that I could have a separate volume from you. I'm not sure that I can. Oh, nope, this is just a very chill one. I'm going to skip it. Cool. All right. So I might end up swapping stuff around and putting stuff on different monitors because I'm working on my big monitor because my camera's right here and my monitor's right here. Because I think the last time I didn't like that I was just like basically in profile the whole time. Well, like I said, we're figuring it out. It's all new stuff. What do I want to do here? Let's get a good skin tone. Let's lay in something more interesting than black for the background. So as I'm kind of going through and doing this, the things that I'm interested in are, you know, silhouette. So like, can I create a silhouette that's kind of interesting, something that would be fun to animate? I'm not super interested in getting like everything perfect right out of the gate, but I just want to lay in stuff kind of quick. So I want to animate myself with basically kind of in the outfit that I'm wearing, which is a hat. This is sort of my big old noggin here. Kind of this loosey-goosey sweater that I'm wearing. And then my boots are kind of the big things. So, I don't know. I got this big wide head. I don't know how big and wide I want to go with the pixel art. I would love to like exaggerate the bill of the hat. See, I'm already doing it. I'm already getting too down in the weeds. Let me go ahead and draw in some kind of fists. Kind of do like a ready stance. Because I guess I'm gonna fight you. I don't. Just block them in for now. Kind of have one lower than the other. Usually when you're doing some art and you've got something that's pretty symmetrical, like a body or something, you can kind of add some interest by taking that and like staggering. They do it in animation a lot too, where if you've got like two things that kind of move the same way, like say you've got two hands that are like kind of going around in a circle, there's more interest if you have like them slightly offset from one another. And you can kind of do the same thing as you're designing a pose or a character. You know. Oh, and by the way, I know that there's probably only like one person in here, but I do encourage you, if you've got any sort of art program at all. Maybe you've got like one of those fancy ones like a Photoshop or something. I'm using Sprite here, but I encourage you to follow along at home. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and give him some big old clompers here. And I'm already knowing that I can tell I made this canvas way too small. We're gonna go canvas size and jump this thing up. Let's do, I want to go 48. I do want to go 48 for sure. And let's do 96. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that gives me some more room to play with. I don't want it to be too small, because if you go really, really small with your pixel art, it can, you end up fighting the grid for details. And that can be really fun to do. But it's not really what I'm trying to do. Oh. I think I accidentally colored that on not the background. It's not really what I'm trying to do for this. So, since I've got extra room, there we go. Widen them up a bit. Probably get some more interesting shapes. Because I've got extra room here. I can probably let's exaggerate the hat. I'm gonna go real Mario with it. Give maybe a little tuft of hair in the back here. See if I can get that bigger bill that I was wanting earlier. Ooh, that's something. What I'd like to do is squat this whole thing up. I can be pretty finicky when it comes to these kind of details. Like for me, I end up really wrestling with like, it's got to be in the right spot, it's got to be in the right spot, it's got to be perfect right now, but it doesn't have to be perfect right now. Because we are going to keep working on it. And it can be slow, or it can be fast. There's room for all different kinds of processes. Maybe bust yours out real quick. That's really good. Means you got more time for some of the other steps. Some of the stuff maybe you enjoy more. I'm gonna play with this. What happens if I bring this one up and drop this one down? I'm gonna add a new layer. I'm kind of liking. I'm gonna call these bobs. I don't know. That's how I think of them. Oh, you know, they're the bobs. Move this forward a little bit. I'm gonna pop over here. I'm gonna start connecting some of this stuff. Let me grab a slightly different color so I can kind of see the difference. I'm actually going to switch to something that's not so skin toned, just so I can really see the difference. Let's see. I know this is going to come out, and this is going to kind of like... So this is going to be his little elbow here. Nope. Nope. Ah. I was like, where didn't I close it? Alright. I'm going to take this foot's up 1 pixel from the one on the left, which is fine if you're like looking at an upward angle, but I really want this to be kind of like side on, so like nice, level, flat. Let's go ahead and switch to a different color again. I think I'd like to do, I don't normally do this, but I think I'd like to do kind of like a noodly kind of, almost like an Adventure Time spaghetti limb sort of thing. Or it's almost like a Muppet. You know? So this would be a big curve. Is that too far over? That might be too far over. And then I can kind of use this to indicate the... Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, so part of what I wanted to make sure that I captured was like the bagginess of the sweater. So when I was talking about silhouette, that's actually the same way that I actually pick what I'm wearing, so that's kind of interesting. But like having it be sort of like a big fluffy sweater, which is sort of what I've got on here, and then kind of like a real tight, narrow jean, you end up with this mushroom shaped silhouette, which I think would be really fun to play with in animation. Something that really gives you an like you can, if you don't worry about the silhouette, you can end up with something that's very bean or same shaped all the way through, and you don't have a real quick visual indicator of like here's top, here's bottom. Or maybe I'm full of shit. I don't know. There we go. Now we're gonna start massaging some of these shapes. Because these... There's something very... I want to bring this leg over a little bit more. Something very like... I don't want to do that. That was bad. I think almost meditative about doing pixel art, because so much of it's like, you know, you take a look and you're looking for things that don't, you know, that start breaking rules, right? You've got like this line here. When you're doing a curve in pixel art, you've got like, okay, this down one, left one, down one, left one, down one, left one, down two, left one, which it's okay for it to do that, but then it goes back to down one, left one. So that's called a jaggy, and we're going to fix that by just dropping that here. And you end up with this section that goes at this slope, and then this section that goes at this slope, and you end up with a much smoother looking curve, which I prefer. I do have some problems yet that I need to solve. Let me drop this down a little bit, maybe that'll help. So here I go 3, 2, 1, 2, and then I can kind of curve back the other way. What don't I like about this? Let me start moving the bobs back around. And this is actually why I do them on separate layers, because as I start kind of getting through and wanting to experiment a little bit more, don't end up having to do a bunch of stitch work. It's too low. I don't particularly care for the shape of the head. I feel like this requires some stitching. Oh. I would like to select both things on both layers. Is that possible? Maybe not. Here, why don't I just do this? Ah. Don't like these legs. I'm not sure why yet. Sometimes I have to kind of back up and take a look at it from a distance. You know, kind of give it a squint. That's why you see me making a bunch of weird faces. I think that's part of it, though. You know? I think a lot of art is about making decisions. Like, you know, if you're drawing something, it's not important that you know like 100% what the thing you're drawing looks like. But what's more important is the confidence of the lines that you draw. So we end up drawing like faces or something, or people. And I guess this gets back into why the silhouette's so important. But it's not so important that it's like a perfect representation of the thing that you're drawing, but what is important is that you have clear ideas, because you're sort of guiding the person who's viewing the piece, viewing your art, through what your plan is and what your plan was. You're sort of describing to them, you know, some idea. And I think there's a very, hang on a second, I think I just added some, yeah, I did that all on that, that's fine. I like that work, I'm gonna save it, but I'm gonna put it on the right layer. But even if you don't know where the right place to put the nose is, or where the right place to draw the outline is, I think it's still important to give your viewer a clear answer of where it is in your drawing. I think that's why people say, like, there's no wrong way to do art. I guess I would argue that the only wrong way that you could try to do art is by avoiding... These are my boots. I actually really like my boots. So I'm going to pixel them in, because I've been drawing myself in the boots a lot lately. It's kind of how I see myself right now. I don't know what I did, but I fixed whatever problem I had with the legs. I think it was when I brought the bottom up a little bit further. How far can we go with it? Does it go all the way up? Is it just noodles sticking out the bottom of the... No, surely that's not it. But yeah, all of this is to say, like, you're gonna make a drawing. Just make confident decisions. You know, a lot of times when I'm not feeling very confident, I'll draw a line 40 times. Not because that helps me make the decision, but just because I'm so unsure of where that line should go. And it's always the moments that I'm like, that I'm kind of like, it's like a shit or get off the pot moment. That I'm just like, here's where, like, regardless of whether or not this is right or wrong, here's where the line is. Here's where the edge of the face is. Here's where something is. And I make those decisions very confidently on the page. I like draw a strong line. I shade up to it as if that is the edge, and I don't try to like cheat it and go both ways. Like, well, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be shaded, so I'll kind of do it halfway. But it's when I make those confident decisions that the pieces start to get a little better. I like the bottom half here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this head, because I don't like the head. So I don't dislike it so much. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. Ooh, don't want to delete it. I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to hide this one because I want to start fresh with the head. And I don't want to lose my work. So, new head. Head point 2. I don't know if anybody's watching this stream, but that's okay. A lot of what I'm doing here is trying to, just trying to get more comfortable with talking. I was, up until recently, pretty depressed. And a pretty bad one. And, you know, it happens. I have all of these sort of techniques for... Let's see if maybe starting with some eyes is going to help me figure out what I'm doing up here. But I have all these techniques for kind of pulling myself out of it. A lot of them are like exercise and diet based. Because I find that if you're taking care of the body, the mind has a better chance. And it wasn't really working this year. So my wife suggested that I talk to somebody, and I got prescribed, well, it doesn't matter, but I am coming out of it, so that's good. But I kind of looked around and I realized, oh, like I've been isolating myself from a lot of people. I kind of have to relearn how to socialize. So I thought, streaming. We'll do some art, we'll do some game dev, see if anyone's interested. You know what I think part of the problem is? I think I'm having trouble seeing it because I'm not separating out the head from the hat. So let me use a different color for the hat. We're just picking all these wild colors for now. Again, still working with nothing near the final palette because I want to get these shapes right. Once I get these shapes right, I should have something that I can kind of... So like, the reason I start with these big old blocky blobs first, which I actually just realized I have some jaggies in here that I don't particularly like. That's pretty good. Get the idea of the thumb here. it's like as I'm kind of going through and doing different versions of the animations, I can kind of start with, you know, I can start with the fists, the feet, and the head, and then sort of in the same way that we're doing this, I can animate those, move those around, and then from there I can kind of fill in the details in between the arms, the legs. I don't know if that's like a normal way to do it, but that's just how I try to do it. Let's see, how do I want this hat to work? Do I want to do like real big? You know what we're gonna do? Well, howdy, partner. Stupid. I really like this sort of swoop around feeling. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Where it's kind of like, looks like you're looking at the underside of the bill here. So I'm gonna bring this back a little bit more. Do I have another green that I can switch to? Let's do this. Just so I can get the idea of what's happening here. Maybe part of the issue is because the hat does kind of cuts up in the corner here. So I've got this little thing, but this, when it attaches, it kind of rides back up. Hats are hard. I've been watching a lot of Drawfee, which is, you know, gotten me back into drawing. I went to art school back in the day. I thought that's what I was gonna do, but I didn't make it all the way through. I ended up dropping out when I was in my junior year. Not because I don't enjoy the art, but just because I wasn't happy. And I kind of haven't been doing a lot of art until I started watching some Drawfee. And gosh, they just make it seem so fun again. So that's gotten me back into it. If you haven't seen it, I do suggest it. They are pretty funny. Let's see. You know what I need to do? I need to cut in some big old glasses. Because it's just not going to be my face without some big old glasses. We're going to go over. I'm going to take too dark. It's pretty good. Still not liking this. See, I think I've started to get too in the details with this. I think I need to switch back to just straight up shapes. So I'm gonna go bigger with these. Change the color so I can see them a little bit better. Boop. What if it's like all... Oh, wait, what if I go super blocky with it? It looks a little bit like this right now. But I can fix that. I don't mind the super blocky. I'm not really a Roblox kind of guy. What happens if I go very symmetrical with the way the face works? Oh, I hate that. They give them a... Ooh. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing the face out, cheating it out as if it's, there's this anime called Shin-Chan. I think that's what I'm kind of going for here. But it's kind of fighting me with the glasses. So if I were to just draw kind of what I see in my head and get rid of the glasses for now. It would be something along these lines. Which I think is actually pretty good. And simplify this for now. So at some point, what I'm doing is kind of exploring and just trying different stuff, and at some point there's something that kinda I find that I really want to like work around, and is having this sort of cheek jut out, almost like a Ninja Turtle or a Squirtle, is pretty cool. Let's see. Do I have that much attitude? I don't think I have that much attitude. I'm not that cool. And then the mouth would be like over here, because it always is for whatever reason. Like they cheat the mouth opposite the way that you would want it to. But I could go like over here. But then that gives you kind of like Diddy Kong vibes. I like it over here. If I'm gonna do a mouth, I don't know. We're just trying stuff. We're just experimenting. It's all good. Merry Christmas Eve, bud. It's good to see ya. Sorry, I just seen your chat now. I've been kind of absorbed in it, you know? Trying to figure out how to do a baseball cap with this few pixels. A little challenging. Oh. No. I don't know. That's not bad. I just don't want it to look like I'm rocking it sideways. Because I'm just not that cool. But maybe this is my one chance to be cool. Oh, it doesn't look sideways to you. Good. Well then, maybe this is it. Maybe I'll just... That's a consensus. I think that's 100% of my viewing audience. Wait, disagrees with me? That doesn't feel good. You guys are meant to bolster my confidence. Build me up. What do you guys think of this little chat integration thing I built over here? Is it good? Is it bad? I think I'm gonna make it a little bit, lean into the Shin-Chan and squat him up a little bit. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And since I don't have a whole lot of traffic yet, I set it up, I built it so that the chat kind of disappears after 30 seconds, so if I don't get a whole lot of chat activity, it doesn't end up just taking up real estate for no reason. Man, I want the square glasses, the square frames. But just don't have a whole lot of detail to work with, and they just look real boxy. I can't round them off because then they look like semicircles. Also, I'm watching while I play Signalis, so I might miss some stuff, but this is a super cool concept. Oh, thanks, man. If you don't know, what I'm working on is trying to create some avatars and stuff for the stream. I'm kind of on because I wasn't sure how the medication was going to hit me. I'm kind of on a Christmas break from actually working on my game, so I don't do a thing where like, you know, oh, if you know I get sadder, I don't like end up kind of destroying the way that I feel about that work. So I'm just working on a little pixel art avatar, and then when I'm finished with that, I'm going to gonna animate them in for followers, people who follow me for the first time. Because I got nothing right now. I just sort of like, you get rewarded with the knowledge that you're following me. I'm like, that kind of sucks. Man, it's just, and then if I do this, I lose the Ninja Turtle cheek. Oh, hey there. Who am I talking to there? Welcome to the chat. Hey Randy, how are you? I am struggling with some eyes right now. It's part of the process. Maybe my pixel art me is just no glasses. Because I really want that cheek to be in it, and I think that that's the trade-off that I'm gonna have to make. Yeah. So I'm working on a little pixel art avatar. I'm blocking in some shapes right now, and then when we're finished, after I do that and do a color pass and everything, we're gonna try to animate it. Oh, that sucks. Like that. Gives a little bit more room for the hair flip in the back. Kind of want to do one of these, but I've got a little extra pixel out there, but I don't think I'm gonna. Tell Brian I said hey. I love having these little low square ears. I think I'm gonna cut this sideburn in a little bit. Sometimes it helps. Let me see if I can. Sometimes it helps to flip the canvas. It's gonna be me. much do I want to exaggerate this hat? Somehow I've made the head smaller than it was. A little corrective surgery. You like. Alright, I'm gonna take kind of like where we're at right now, so I'm gonna merge this layer down. I'm gonna start messing with the overall kind of shape of it. Just fix some balance issues, because otherwise he's kind of leaning one way or the other. We're gonna turn this foot a little bit, because he was kind of doing this duck foot thing before, which I think is part of what I was struggling with the legs. And I just didn't see it. I think I'm gonna turn that foot a little bit this way. This is kind of what I'm talking about when I talk about like making confident decisions in your art, though, because here's kind of a shape that doesn't speak a whole lot to what direction the foot is. It could be kind of straight on, it could be kind of this way, it could be kind of that way. But instead, I'm going to take this line and I'm going to continue that down. I'm going to take this. We're going to stick this out a little bit more. I don't want it to look just like the other foot, but now that's now wanting to kind of bring in this leg a little bit. Slim it up on that side. Bring the whole thing over. Okay. And a hint at the tongue. I'm going to drop this side a little bit further. I don't know if I've improved it or made it worse. We're just gonna have to move on here soon. Do I want this to kind of tilt up this way? You know, I think I might. If I did that, I'd be able to bring the line over here in even more. And then this is feeling a little bit non-committal. This little curve right here feels like I don't know what it is. Let me see if I can fix this. Can we come down here and cut? Just to differentiate between the sleeve and the body. I still want this body to kind of poof out because I'm going for like a poofy, billowy kind of sweater, which I think will be pretty fun to animate. More leg, less leg, maybe just like all leg. Like tall boy. You know, maybe he's got them tall boy vibes. I think I am going to give him a little bit more leg. More leg to noodle, you know? Just want to hint at a curve. The other thing, when you're drawing people, something that really helps is there's a lot of like tapers. What I mean by that is like when you start like a leg up near hip, real thick, leg down near ankle, real thin, and it's just sort of a gradual. A lot of times when I'm starting a figural drawing, or if I'm drawing if I'm just drawing a person, I start with these sort of very triangular, like long triangle shapes. And they help really sell the idea of the limb that you're putting together. The same is true for arm, you know, up near the shoulder, starts a lot bigger and then it always tapers down. You know, even when you start with, you know, even when you've got somebody who's got like just an obscene amount of muscle on them. You know, all that does is change the details on top of the taper, but the taper's still there, right? Because, you know, muscle, there's more muscle up here than there is, like there's next to nothing at the wrist. You can kind of, I don't know that you can, I don't want to say anything incorrect, but I don't know how many workouts thicken up the wrist. It's kind of all bone, you know, which is probably okay. I don't think people are like, oh dang, that dude's got some good wrist. That's a good looking wrist right there. You know. The thing I never quite get right is shoes. Because there's like different ways to do it. There's like the bottom of a sneaker's kind of got this curve to it. But I got a boot which I think is pretty flat, and then actually probably has one of these in it. Means I want to hint at one over here, but maybe not commit to it. Oh, that actually... I think this one's probably going to be more like a color difference. It'll end up looking like, you know, instead of being like a pass-through. Because what's happening there is you've got like heel and sole, and when you're looking at them on the side, you can see that hole underneath them, and then when you rotate them, the one's going to be kind of sitting in front of the other, so you can only like kind of hint at the thing going behind the other thing, which I think is more or less how I'm going to do that. Damn, that wrist is fire. I think I'm okay with this. I'm gonna lay in some color that's a little bit closer to what I kinda want this to be. That's gonna be kind of a black pant. Now, I've got this problem where my skin tone and my sweater tone are very close. So I think that I'm gonna have to work around that. And now that I'm saying that out loud, it makes me question just my sweater choice in general. But that's all right. If I call it art, it's not a fashion mistake. I think I'm going to lighten up the background here so I can see a little bit more of these dark tones. Ooh. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's where we're gonna go for now. What happens if I do? What happens if I do this? Well, that's not bad. What if I go more orangey with it? Okay, there's a color in between those two that I think is right. So I like this a lot, but I want to do kind of a saturated, a desaturated, but like darker version that's not quite like as vibrant as this is. Let me find... That's not right. I'm gonna go lighter. I don't want to go skin tone with these, but they do kind of match. You know, what if I What if I did a different color for the skin? What if I went like a pinker? Like a pinker and paler. Because I'm a pretty pasty pale dude. Then I took this color. I went up here with it. Ooh. No. No, not that. Let's get a hair color in there. I got kind of a basic brown setup. Are these your flea market boots? Yeah, 100% they're my flea market boots. They're basically all I ever wear. I did leave them in the mountains. But, you know, they say if you love something, let it go. And if it was meant to be, they'll find their way back to you. And that's really what happened here. You know, it's a real story for the ages, really. The romance between me and my boots. That's looking pretty good. That's looking like something. I need to go some other direction with the background. Since I've got a lot of warm kind of fall colors, I'm going to try to find a cooler middle gray for the background to play with. So a lot of people do like coming of age boot story. Love it. Lore. Yeah, you guys didn't know there was going to be a boot lore drop on this stream. Good thing you tuned in. Just going to do this for now. I still don't like the skin tone. But let me add a shadow in. So I like to use these, especially when I'm doing pixel art, I like to do these blocky shapes, and I like to hold off on line art if I do line art at all. It's just my style. But, so what I've done to pick this shadow color is I started with, here I'll do it again, I started with my skin tone, and then I took the hue slider over here, and I went bluer with it, so I brought it, because I was over here, I was so close to blue is kind of a left, you rotate around to the left. I went bluer with it, and I go a little bit darker with it. And then you end up with kind of a shadow that you can use over here. But yeah, going a little bit blue with your shadows is always can yield some, or doing, you know, really any kind of, it's called hue shifting. Oh, hey Brian, welcome to the chat. But yeah, when you do that, you kind of indicate a little bit about the environment that they're in. That kind of detail adds, it's not realism, because I mean we're doing pixel art, but it's a little bit of life, I think. Well, we're not there yet. Let me get some better shapes in here. Really let the hat shadow sit over the face. And maybe kind of mirror Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to really let the shadow of the hat kind of rest on the face. And then I'm trying to mirror this sort of Shin-chan cheek in the light that which I think is kind of working. Thanks, dude. Let's see. So I've got two hands here. Like I'm saying, catch these hands. Catch me outside, how about that? It's a little history of memes for you. Doing a little meme archaeology on the stream today. Let's see. So this is the thumb here. A lot of this is just me trying to carve out, man, it's just so much like I'm trying to carve out the shapes that I think I see in my head. And kind of give the idea that they're there, because I don't have a whole lot of pixels to work with. That's nothing. That doesn't look like anything. That's alright. We're just going to undo all of that. We're going to try again. Let's see. So, you know where I went wrong. It's because there's actually, this knuckle should be in front. So this is going to be kind of like, I think I'm going to have to just cheat and pretend like there's less fingers than there are, which is fine. Actually, if I were smart, I would store this in my offhand color. For those of you pixeling along at home, there is, most art programs have the ability to set a secondary color, which you probably knew. I just have not been using that feature today. But I guess I haven't really needed it until now. It's really good for like when you're doing sort of light and shadow work like this. You know? And just depending on the style that you're doing, maybe you've got, you know, a couple of shadow colors or a shadow and a highlight. I am just going to be working with the one shadow color today. At least per block, right? Do this. And for this, to find the shadow color, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hue shift it a little bit. We're going to go a little bit darker with it. That's too dark. Immediately made that mistake. Hue shift it back a little bit. So there's another way that you can there's another kind of hue shifting, where if you're a little bit closer to the opposite side of the color wheel, like we are right now, because we're in kind of an orange here, instead of hue shifting, you might just desaturate a little bit, because what happens when you start to mix in, it's called the complement, but the opposite side of the color wheel. So in our case, we've got kind of an orange here. If you wanted to get over here to blue, rather than shifting directly there, you would you might just desaturate a little bit, because when you add blue to orange, it starts to go gray. You start to lose some of that saturation anyway. So we'll see if that works. I'm actually gonna store that in my offhand so that I can compare these two colors down here. Let's see, where do I want to go with it? And I do want to shift it a little bit. Just something that feels slightly cooler. Oh. What about this? Ooh, what about that? We're gonna make some of the same choices again. Kinda let because clearly we've got like a sun kind of down sort of lighting source here. So I'm going to use a little bit of it to take the head off the shoulders. I'm going to start shading the undersides of things. These colors don't have to be exactly right. Like right now I'm kind of struggling internally because I'm like, this is a little... the contrast is a little much for me. But... I'm going to put that boot detail back in. You know what I'd like to do? Maybe I'll throw in just a little hint of my undershirt. I kind of like that. Because I've got, it's kind of tucked away here, but I always wear an undershirt with this. I think just having anything else to sort of separate the chin from the shirt, because they are very similar in, so you can see they're pretty close in value. And by value I mean like how bright and dark the color is to your eye. When that happens, even if they're different colors, they can kind of vibrate and fight against each other. But this is starting to turn into something. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta trust the process, you know? You can not like something when you start out, and then as you keep going, it's just gotta give yourself a chance to improve it. I don't know how I want my hair to do. Boy, isn't that just my struggle right now. I need a haircut. Nobody asked, but I need a haircut. Thick brow. Why so serious? Oh, no, he doesn't look serious. He looks sad. Sad. Boop. Kinda. And then maybe one that's kinda... You know, when you're really crying, you get that little leakage from the nose. Alright. Let's see. So, this is going to be a little tricky, because I have to put in some details in the boots, so that... so you got to put in some details in the boots, but I can't put in all the details of the boots because there'd just be too much noise. It would basically be like a checker pattern of detail. So I need to figure out a way to simplify them to give the ideas of like this very kind of segmented boot without... And hopefully I can just do it with the shadow color, because what I don't want to do is introduce a third color. You know, and what I don't want to do is... Hang on a second, I just got distracted. I need to slim this up a little bit. Oop. Yeah. I don't want to introduce a third color, and I don't want to really fight the the grid. Let's see. How do I do that? Who is this person? Well, it's supposed to be me. And it's gonna be me. It's gonna be me. We've just gotta, you know. Yeah, me. He's got the hat. He's got, look, I'm wearing that sweater right now. It's got the boots that I wear. Let's see. Do I like that? Do I hate that? Yeah, it's actually, it's exactly a military boot. I got them. This is like maybe my proudest achievement of 2022 is I picked them up for not an imposter, it's just like the boots, but they were brand new, tag on. I got them for like 25 bucks because they were half off already, the brand new price, and then they were marked 50% off that. So they're good boots. I'll never fly that close to the sun again. That's not true. Ooh. I don't like that. It's too finicky, too back and forth, too much of that checkerboard stuff I was talking about. I think I'm just gonna stick them like that. I think that's enough there. I think that gives the idea of the boot without going into too much. Let me flip it real quick before I commit to that. I really need to put that on a macro. I do need to draw my glasses. That is true. I've been avoiding it because I like the cheek so much. You weren't here, but coming to the realization that I wanted that kind of a cheek was a big moment for me. And if I draw in the glasses, I end up losing the cheek. But you know what? We're gonna go for it. Maybe there's a way here for me to not do, maybe I can do just a different pair of my glasses. Maybe I just wear a different pair of glasses for this. God, I'm fighting. These are all called tangents. And I actually learned that from Drawfee. I think what I called them before was lines too close to other lines. But basically, like, what I want to do is basically take, and maybe that's it. Maybe I take it out. Maybe I just go further. What happens if I do? That's gonna be real bad. This is not gonna be good. We're gonna try it though. Who knows? Here, I'm gonna create a new layer because I really like the color work that we've done so far. Whoop. And we're just gonna block in a couple of frames. Thanks, buddy. Ooh. Ooh. I lose the Shin-Chan cheek that I loved so much. But what I like about this is they're very big. And because they're very big, like they're very committed to. I wonder, can I go even bigger? Or does that get too crazy? How big can glasses get before it's just like, oh, that man sees too well? How much vision can I have before? I mean, surely this must be, you know, we're well past the 20/20 range at this point. Now we're in like 40/40, you know, 60/60, you know, like how big, how much is too much? You know, it should be illegal what I'm doing to these pixels, but who's gonna stop me? I actually don't mind a bit the bigger. I think somewhere in here is where I want to be. Is it this? Do I want to go that big with it? I kind of love it. What do you guys think? Way too much. What do you think about like in this size range though? Let me go ahead and take this and mute out the eye that's hiding back there. I think I love it. I think I love it. And because it's so big, I don't need to worry about mouth. Do I draw frame? The other thing is with my style, you really start to avoid, I really start to avoid anything that starts looking like line art, because I don't know, it just feels so, I already have a tendency to go over like very architectural and like, this is the angle that things are at when I'm drawing. So like even just drawing in the frames there, but if I do a half frame, I could get away with a half frame, I bet. You know, like I've got a pair of these old 50s style dad glasses that I actually really like. Let me see what happens when I do this. I don't like that they're getting swallowed up by the hat. Do I want pupils? Oh. Okay, well that's a conlin that's seen some things. That is truly a haunted conlin. Oh no. I'm not ready for that. That's too real. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Do I go like so some people have glasses that make the eyes real big. Mine don't do that. You know? And they're just like telescopic. Mine don't do that. Mine get real small and real beady. I think I like it without pupil. I think I'm going I could do like lines. Lines aren't bad. I don't hate that. And then if I wanted to like put some expression in there, it could be like, oh, oh, that again. Oh, you know, if I want to do surprise, I guess I don't know how I do surprise. So I could do pupil, but let me see what happens if I just totally do away with it. Can I go? Let's see. The nice thing is I've already kind of got a So we're thinking, I'm getting a lot of votes for lines, it seems like. So we're thinking full frame is what you guys like? Let me see how that feels again. I just don't know. I gotta live my truth. And I don't know if the lines do it for me. I wonder if I can kind of hint at the line without giving me full line. You know? Like maybe I can go... That's a little bit like... What's he looking at? Where's he even looking? Let's see. Did you mean, oh, line pupil. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I do like the line pupil too. Maybe I go like, maybe just, what if I, and then it goes, what if it's just like, is that it? I think we've done it. And then you know what? Maybe it's like, oh, you know what it is? Spider. All right, we're gonna go with line. I like line. I think line's the right way to go as well. All right. don't know that this part is working. I think just keeping it simple. Maybe it's the double. Hang on a second. I want to see. Oh! Oh, I really like that. I like that because it's got this sort of slight hint to like the depth of the glass, which is a weird thing that only I would care about, but does that work on these as well? That's dumb. Guess that would be right about there. No, I'm not going to do that. I am going to toy with this because I don't like what's going on right here. I do like that little wing though. Does it go down? Does it go up? Am I overstretching by sticking to a... No, I like the 2. I like the double thick rim, but I don't like the color. Let's see if we can change it up. Nope. I think I'm just going to make it this color, and I'm going to find a different color for the hat. Nope. Boy, those are real close. Those are real close. The other thing I don't like is I've lost my shadow, so I'm going to come and bring it down a little bit further. Simple up some of my shapes. I think I do want to separate this from the glasses. That's gotten too small. I think we're circling on something here. Let me see if I can apply that same level of exaggeration to the hat and see if that's better or worse. Kind of make it taller. What I like about hats is they've got this real flat part in the front right here. Like, you could be tempted to like want to draw it as like one big round shape. And actually in general you could be tempted to draw a lot of like organic shapes as big old round shapes, but I think it was, I was watching Cynics who described his process, who's a creator online who does a lot of really, really good art. And when he's drawing organic shapes, he likes to actually accentuate straight lines and angles and put in extra angles where there aren't any, because they tend to actually aid in making something feel more organic and feel more visually interesting. And so I try to find little opportunities because of that to find these flat lines, to turn something that like my brain says is round into something that's less round. Not to make it like blocky or something. I've definitely made a blocky head here, but that's not quite what I'm talking about. So I've got this challenge that's happening right now where in my mind I'm wrestling with the bill of this hat. And the reason I am is because in my mind it comes here and then it goes up. Right? That's how it works in my head. And I'm trying to get that to come across in the pixels without having to draw in this line. And maybe I just need to draw on the line. I don't know. You know? And without, and maybe this is part of the problem, without adding a third color for the hat here, because I really like having this sort of two-color system for everything other than these darks. But you know, I have an idea, and it's probably not a good idea, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna feel it out, and we're gonna see what it looks like. I'm gonna take this, then I'm actually gonna take this darker color, and in spite of where the light is, so my thinking was like light coming from top, you know, this is gonna be the brightest point on the hat, right? And that's true, but I'm trying to describe shapes here. And that's like my first priority. So I'm gonna take this and basically try that out. So my thinking here is like, okay, now I've got these three blocks of shapes. This sort of underbill area, the top of bill area, and then the rest of the hat back here. Does this work? Is this anything? This might work. Nope, gonna keep that there. What happens if I come down? No, I don't wanna. I've got to avoid those glasses. This doesn't fix the problem, it just moves it. Okay. I think this is it. Is there anything I can do up here to kind of bring back the sense of light? Oh. I guess, really, the light's not going to be on the entire top of the hat. And the other thing is the hats actually have this little band. Even like just straight up baseball caps, they have like this little where the top of the hat connects to the bill, connects to like they've got this little band that wraps around that I could probably use as an excuse to put a border between this light area and this light area without like complicating my shapes too much. Nope, that's too far. think this is something. Yeah. Then we're gonna do some overall pushing and pulling. I'm gonna flip my canvas again. So the reason that you flip your canvas, if you don't know, is because like you get so used to it, seeing the thing that you drew, that you start becoming kind of blind to all the little problems in it. It's important, especially early on, if you're doing something like this, where it's just like a character or a person, or it's got some sort of like a real world analog. You know, you really want to like flip them early. This is not early for this one, because like we're kind of, but I still do it because like I still do it throughout, because I usually end up kind of being real finicky about stuff. You know, making sure that he's balanced, making sure that, you know, it doesn't look like he's gonna fall over. Do I want to give him a little extra chin in there? Let me see what that looks like. I think I do. Go back to... Oh yeah, we're in a way better situation now. Okay, sorry, I was just checking with this old first pass of the blocks. But yeah, this is kind of like the massaging process. You know, you start with something like this, and then you just kind of keep working it and keep making little changes until you wind up in a much better place. At any point in time, like, you could take a look at it and be like, well, that's not very good, or you can feel not very good about it, but you know, as long as you keep making little edits. I'm not happy with this up here yet. I think what happens if I just leave a little line here? Does that violate my lines rule? I feel like it does. What if I fatten it up? Does that violate my lines rule? I like that. Let's see, what about the hair? Can I exaggerate the hair more? We're getting pretty close to like being done with this sort of reference piece. Once we're finished with this, we'll go ahead and I might go get a drink or warm up my coffee, put the stream on pause, and then we'll come back and we'll start animating. There's a lot of ways to do the kind of spillover hair that I've got. I'm gonna play with a couple of different ways. What if it was, can I do like multiple points? Can I do like one big? What happens if it's one big? Well, that makes me look like I'm rocking a ponytail. Don't want to do that. It's not quite that long. There was something nice about that kind of idea, that shape. Sometimes I do this and then just wind up at the place that I was when I started. And that's okay too. Let's see. I think that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and work on the hands a little bit. What do I need? There's another thing with pixel art too, that's kind of interesting. You know, when I talk about like the importance of like the shapes and the importance of silhouettes and stuff, you know, when you've got a shape that is very diagonal, this is trying to communicate kind of a straight line, but because it's got all this it's it comes with a lot of extra like visual noise, you know. And sometimes, like if you're in here and you're fighting with all of these little pixels and you've got one pixel going this way and one pixel going this way, sometimes you just want to start to cut stuff off and just round it out and take something that's normally not very you know, angular, and make it angular. I am trying to draw a fist. I'm trying to hint at a fist. Because a lot of the context of this can come from when we're actually animating it, so it doesn't need to look perfectly like a fist for it to read as a fist in the animation stage. But what I don't want to lose is this idea of the thumb. That's sort of... Okay. I think I'm going to add one of those tapers in here and see what that feels like. Oh, that's interesting. Look at my hand and make a fist. You're right. So I think this is it. And the reason I like this for this hand is because this stepping down kind of indicates, I'm using the sort of the edges of the pixels here to indicate each finger, and I think the brain kind of completes that. I don't know if yours does, mine does. Let me see if I can... Now, I do have a little bit of an issue. Oh. Do I want to try to do this in the shadow? No. I think that that's probably good. Okay. I'm gonna save this. All right. Let's see. Where are we at right now? It looks like a circle left hand. You don't like that. Which one? Is my left or your left? This one? Or this one? No. This one then. Okay. There's a little bit of a delay in the chat, so that's why I'm not getting your stuff until a little bit later. Let's see. I think that's probably okay though. It'll work itself out when I get the animation going. Let me toy with this. Maybe I'll do some schmutzing on the colors. Let me see. So if I take this, I go a little paler with it. Nope. Go a little bit darker. Let me take this. Take that a little bit into the red, so I get a little hue shift in there. Yeah, this is pretty good. So the way that you're looking at this one is the fingers are kind of coming this way. And this is the back of the hand here. So it's sort of like a little bit of that. That's kind of the direction that it is. So you've got this one that's back here, that's kind of like that. And then this one's underneath right here like that. So, like I said, it will, as we animate, can you try Knuckles' hand? Okay. So it'll work out when we start animating. I don't have a whole lot of detail to play with here because of how small the sprite is, but we will get there. Let's see. Something in the boots I don't like. I'm not sure what. Right. Oh, and I didn't, well, that's okay. All right, well, I'm gonna pause. I'm actually thinking, so I've been streaming for, I guess like 2 hours. Wow. And time flies. But this is pretty good for now. I might do a separate stream where I animate it, but I'm gonna pause the stream for now. And then get myself something to drink, and then maybe I come back and play a game. How about we play a game? This is so impressive. Thank you. That's really kind. Checks in the mail. But yeah, when we get back, I don't know what we're gonna play, but we could play Fall Guys maybe. But I'll give you guys kind of some options, and ooh, hang on, and I'll give you guys some options, and we'll figure out, you know, what we can play together, and we'll hang out, and it'll be good. All right, well, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you stick around until after the break. I'll be back in like just 5 minutes, probably less than that, but pause time.